Welcome back to Nino Kuni. So yeah, we found ourselves just right into a fairy tale. So let's see if we can give it an happy ending.
Whereas Prince Ali has apparently joined our party for now.
Good job I'm not playing this game. Could you imagine how I'd end fairy tales?
Well, thank goodness you don't have that much of a choice here.
And then the three bears brutally murdered Goldilocks for being a bitch. The end.
Yeah, you wouldn't be the first one who's done
Prince
something like
Ali,
that.
yes, it is. Yeah, we already did this joke. Moving on.
Well,
This is the magic circle that lifted our curse.
beliefs will mean that you have German ancestors because that's what the original fairy tales were, hardcore as fuck.
Yep.
Hardcore fairy tale. These days that means guns and blood and shit.
Blood and
Oh,
gore
yeah,
and stuff.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Well, sure. Have you seen Pan's Labyrinth?
No.
Because Pan's Labyrinth is pretty much a modern take on that concept.
It's from the same guy who most recently made Crimson Peak.
And he's doing that game with Kojima.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if it works.
Just as I figured, it didn't work.
Well, this would have been too easy.
I don't understand. He's standing in the magic circle just like we did, but nothing's happening. He's too far gone, Esther.
It's not well, remember, Shiva.
Hold on, Pedro. When you start doing frog math, you don't come back. Not even once.
Not just that, but the fact that his curse was a different one than ours, of course, probably has something to do with that.
Well, even Swain says that thousands of years. Who knows? We'll
I'm so
see.
sorry, Prince Ali. I didn't mean to get your hopes up.
But we still got dreams.
That'll make him feel so much better.
Trust me, Dweebs. Hopes and dreams may be some of the strongest things you can have in some games. Dweebs?
There is no need to apologize. I was rather expecting this to happen.
Aww.
Well, we tried.
I do not believe my curse will be lifted while I draws breath. His tasked using his whole foul magic to strengthen his whole. Look, I can't even pronounce his name.
So
For now on, he'll be called Mr. P. There you go.
It
Mr.
reminds
P.
me something, Lives. In the Cyrano Decim, one of the pre-quotes that Gilgamesh has with Kafka is that he cannot pronounce his last name.
Yeah.
I'll tell you later.
Wonder why.
It's a joke, Liv, Jova, don't worry.
Mr. Drippy's right. There's only one thing for it.
Cry in despair?
No, this isn't
Certainly
Danganronpa.
Certainly you're not going to try to defeat
Mr. P.
I would be unspeakably reckless.
Pep.
I shall assist you. I must...
You okay, dude?
No, you can't fight him, Prince Ali. Not in your condition.
But what am I supposed to do? Just stand here and do nothing?
Yes? Don't worry, Prince Ali. You can count on us. We'll defeat Apep and lift your curse.
Frogface.
Oh, it's better than being called Laserface or something. I believe you. Something about you makes me believe. I think it was something that the ancient people of this town called the script.
Well, Frogface, think about it. It's better than be called Taserface.
That's what I'll call him now, Apap.
Sure, let's go with that.
Alright, after this Prince Ali bit of dialogue, I need to check something real quick.
Go ahead, I'll tell you.
No,
Please.
say this last. Don't worry, say this last line. Perhaps a key is required to open that door, but there are no keys in this ruins. I am sure. Damn it, I rhymed again.
It happens.
However, there was something written on the wall of my cell. I wonder if this is some kind of clue.
I wonder.
Wishing
Under
you
over
well.
yonder.
Two firm friends play leapfrog all across the floor.
Yeah. Yes, Wander Over Yonder, a song that literally has the villainess sing I'm the bad guy.
There was more as well, I'm sure. Perhaps understanding these words is the key to opening the door.
You don't
All right.
say.
Alright, then in that case, let's go and read it.
I thought Drippy was gonna explode in rage. He just said. Alright, Biabi.
Alright. Let's read. There's something written on the wall by Iamon. Yeah, we just talked about this, Trippy. 2 farm friends play leapfrog all across the floor. Oh, there's more.
And more rhyming, I see.
Each one gamely going where the other was before. Why do the people always write their riddles in poetry? Doesn't make much sense to me, man. So yeah,
Well, maybe it'll make sense to the Frog Prince.
Let's see.
Alright. Oh, look at that. Puppet string icon. Let's try.
Didn't use that since the trials.
Okay, so 2 friends play leapfrog. Okay, essentially what the riddle means is that you're supposed to literally have these 2 statues hop up until the opposite. Basically, they have to switch places and they have to hop to it. You can't just bring them immediately to it. You have to have them literally hop to it for the longest path.
Simple enough.
There you go.
Alright.
Remember, you can't just go straight towards. You have to literally hop to it for the longest path. There you go. And
The only arbitrary bit is the fact that it has to be the longest path. But other than that, simple.
And
Look
there
at
you
that,
go.
It drains the water.
Yes. In water temple fashion. The only difference is that we don't have to sing a song on our ocarina. Tail, please.
Oh, sorry. You followed the instruction and yet the door remained closed. But I'm sure that I heard some kind of noise.
Alright. Let's check the water then. Already got this here. There we go. Hey, where are you going?
Where to where it's safe?
I guess, yeah. Alright, here we are.
There you go. Since
Now
we're
that-
not humans, we can cross there.
Yeah. We won't get dragged in by the water. Not only that, Tail, but also the water level decreasing also helps.
True.
Because now we can actually, we don't have, before we had to use our froggy forms to swim across, but now that it's lowered, we can just go down the stairs.
There we are.
Alright, let's see.
Boom.
And yeah, I love their animation while they're hopping on shallow water.
Hold on, there's
A Nick's trap. God damn it.
Yeah, this one was actually very obvious.
It seems to be sealed by some kind of magic.
You don't say.
Oliver.
For the record, the Nick's status effect means your controls are reversed.
Oh, goody. Well, I guess at least. Annoying.
Oh yeah, and you
Yeah.
cannot cast spells while that's going on.
Makes
So,
sense putting one
so-
of these in front of a chest that can be opened only by magic.
So basically, you either use a healing item or just wait till it goes over,
Huh.
which is what I'm doing right now.
That's. Okay.
That's common in JRPGs.
Oh, I
Traps.
get that, I get that.
So-
I mean, well, that seems a bit old-fashioned to just, waste the player's time like that. Not saying that, it ruins the experience for me, but I will say, out of the many old-fashioned things that they brought back, this one seems a bit unnecessary altogether. What's even the point? I mean, it slows you down, it's not like you're
Yeah,
on a time limit or
yeah.
anything.
Yeah, I will agree with you there. It's a very small thing, so obviously it doesn't ruin anything. But yeah, I will agree with you that this probably wasn't necessary.
Mm-hmm.
No, you missed a treasure chest.
It's just one of the,
Oh, go on.
It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where they literally went to they're out of their way, I guess, to try to make this feel like a 16-bit era JRPG. Well, more like 90s because the PS1 also had plenty of
Yeah.
these. like a 90s JRPG as much as possible.
Yeah, I just say like, well, there's always a line to be crossed when you're bringing back stuff from the old. Like, by all means, bring it back, but make sure you refine some of the older things that need refining.
And this show, sorry, and this game does refine a lot of things.
It
like,
does, it does. I'm just saying, like, well, that one bit though, that was that was one point of sort of crossing line a bit. Now, thankfully, not
And honestly,
too much.
that travel is very visible. I forgot. Do you have already the levitation spell or not?
Levitation spell, say what now?
I don't remember even actually. The
Basically,
levitation
so,
spell allows me to
Yeah, much like
levitate and avoid any kind of traps.
Much like in Final Fantasy 12, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't even bring that up. I hate the fucking random invisible traps in Final Fantasy 12.
I always put the gambit where when the characters are not doing anything, they use Libra.
The more I hear about it, Final Fantasy 12 sounds like a game that you guys love, but have so many problems with.
I actually don't have too much
No,
problems.
not really.
Well,
The only real problems it has that are worth mentioning is the story. And that's mostly because it's clearly unfinished because Matsuno left the project.
But that's what we have but believe it or not, guys, that's what we have Revenant Wings
Yeah, Joe,
for.
I know I played that game. But we'll get to that game when we get to that game. For now, boss fight.
Now we have the basilisk.
Yes.
It's more like Cobra Jafar.
So wait, both me and Shui burp at the same time and come back at the same time.
Well, I burped a little bit before you.
True.
It was roughly the same time though.
Mm-hmm.
Dynamite.
So anyway, we're now against.
I'm a
wait, so
snake,
appar-
am I? Then maybe you'll
so
like to see the kind of snake that I can be.
So apparently, Shiwei, the basilisk survived the Chamber of Secrets. And
Again,
is now
rule
here.
number 34, the evil villain overlist. Do not turn into a snake.
Hey,
It never helps.
I flippin' hate snakes, I do. Make sure that Slimy and so-and-so doesn't come anywhere near me, Ollie boy. I'll faint.
If
Snakes not really slimy, though.
Me and my phobias. Weigh me down, they do. Oh, there's an idea. Pass something heavy on top of that thing and it'll soon stop slithering. Use magic if you have to. So yeah.
why do you keep interrupting me? The villain could just attack me at any moment.
Let's use Burden, I think.
Oh, I thought. Jesus Christ, my mind's dirty. I thought Frostbite said prostitute or something.
Fuck, I missed.
Why?
I don't know.
It's okay, too. I'm just gonna brute force my way through this.
Did you have a
That
chilling
works.
reception with one once?
Well, too, I have a dynamite, so.
Ouch.
No.
Dino Riders. Sorry.
I'm just gonna have to agree with Doug on this one. How the hell has that show not caught on? Even as a kid, I was always wondering why nobody else liked it.
Yeah. It was even in the 90s. I mean, come on.
I guess not enough marketing.
But but there were commercials about it. Like,
Yeah, there was a
everyone
TV
and their
show and
mom
everything.
remembers about that.
And oh,
Just die, please.
He's still staggering back and forth.
I don't mind snakes.
Really?
have you ever actually been near one, Shuri?
I actually
I
had a
held
friend
one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me too. I actually had a friend which had a pet snake.
My aunt used to have a pet boa
And,
constrictor.
and Bogley learned final curtain.
And
I
then
put
you
one on my
guys,
shoulders too.
but guys, have you
Hmm.
ever? But guys, have you ever held an incredibly deadly viper?
No.
Oh come on, they're so friendly.
Actually, Dweebs, you'll be surprised. The people in the mountains in my country actually gain money by
Oh,
extracting.
that's what. Oh, that's
I'll
what.
tell you later. Come
Aw.
on, Rippy.
Look, there's
Yay.
nothing to be scared of.
Bless him.
Yay, we got the frost gem.
The moonstone, you mean?
Or moonstone, that works, yeah.
Now we can. Now we can make a clip. Now we can make a Cleefable.
Yay! Just like the evil Clipable.
I'd rather have a Needle King.
Yeah.
Serious. Since the guy voicing Drippy was in Gavin and Stacey, has he ever been through worse than fighting snakes in that show?
This is
No.
it! One of Morningstar's magic stones!
Only one missing.
Gavin and Stacey is just a rom-com.
That slimy ape passed it along, did he? Good work, Ollie boy.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's been some deadly rom-coms.
I am speechless. I can scarcely believe that Apep is dead. Has been defeated. And yet...
I can't
Yeah,
fucking believe that Apep is
Oh,
dead.
there you go. All right, Java, get ready to take over.
Yep.
Do your best, Scott Singer impression, aka the voice of Aladdin.
Is... This...
Hey, Joe, do
It's
the
the
thing where my
curse.
voice transitions into yours.
The curse is lifting. What's this? Dwibs' voice is evolving. Dun 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 dun.
And no one pressed V, apparently.
Ugh, I'm
Congratulations, your Dwibs evolved into a Jova.
Prince Ali.
Your
Yes, it is
breast
he.
evolved
Don't
into
you see
an
right
Oh,
here?
crap.
Is that really an evolution? Okay, that's too obvious.
Yes.
And
it's a
Jova is
miracle.
Dwibs' mega
miracle.
evolution.
He's human again after all these years.
So it's temporary.
Yes.
It seems I have returned to normal.
All right.
Yay!
Too right you have. So what are you still looking so glum for? Well, he doesn't have his princess, so...
Yeah, you
And,
miserable
and he's a
brat.
literal man out of time.
Though I am human at once more, my kingdom is not but ruins, and she is long gone.
So now basically, he's basically the Captain America, like Captain America. He's a man out of his time, basically.
Our story has already become a fairy tale. Everyone knows how it ends.
Everyone died.
The end.
But, Your Highness...
Oh, sure.
Ribbit.
Gee, I wonder who the rainbow frog is.
Well, that's obvious.
Huh, you're that frog we saw before. Where have you been all this time?
Yeah, where are you?
Bouncing around, I'm a frog,
Oh.
duh.
Round.
Frog?
Kiss the frog.
Oh, it's this,
It might turn into a princess.
Or it might turn you into a frog again.
Sure.
You know, this frog helped us back when we were cursed. In fact, it led us straight to you.
Why is she named after a talk show host?
Who?
Who?
Esther.
Eh?
Esther is a perfectly common name.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just around here in the UK, Esther's the name of a famous talk show host.
Huh?
Context.
And there you go. No kissing involved. No kissing needed.
It's just, there you go.
Where the heck did she come from?
I don't know, but we're having fun tonight. Surely not. Surely this is impossible.
But my name's not Surely.
Yasmina! My beautiful princess Yasmina! Totally not
Well, at least he
Jasmine.
remembers my name.
Huh?
Were you not
you-
listening, Oliver?
This
You
music
could
track
go-
sounds like the Nutcracker.
Wait, what?
The nutcracker?
Creepy
No,
face.
no, actually, I can see what Whips means. The music box in particular. Sure,
Ah.
please.
I've been waiting for you. Waiting for so long.
I guess being a frog gives you eternal youth.
And I was a frog as well, just like you.
My guess is while they're cursed, they don't age. I'm guessing that's.
Yeah, it's weird because frogs have a very short lifespan.
Well, that's very lucky
Hang
then,
on.
isn't it?
Hang on a minute. So the colorful frog we saw was actually a princess. Oh, there you go.
I think I'm going to cry.
I just
Oh.
saw
Yeah.
two frogs turn into some hot teens.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, this is another thing that's also gonna be. This is another thing. This is the beginning of one of S's major character traits. She's a hopeless romantic.
This
I
could
drank
be.
the same potion as you, Ali. The potion that changed you into a frog. The one that cursed you.
However, when you became a frog, you were a giant anthropomorphic one. When I drank the potion, I was a cute little regular-looking frog that just happened to have a rainbow pattern. Pokoi!
So yeah, she cursed herself so she could at least be near him.
Oh, I see. Romeo and Juliet.
Yep.
So let's see, Romeo and Juliet, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and the Frog Prince, all wrapped into one story.
It's a nice parallel, but I prefer the parody version of Azron Legacy's Romeo and Julian.
Eh?
You know, the Romeo and Juliet parody in Azron Legacy.
Oh, those two. The comedy duo. Yasmina.
Okay.
Yasmina, it's been so long.
Ali.
Yo, can we have this discussion outside when he's not this moldy?
Come on, shit. You have to sound more happy.
They
Ali.
kissed. And then they kissed.
So yeah, back to Al-Mamoon, since that's obviously the
And
most...
Esther starts fangirling.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Actually, she will.
You need not worry about us anymore. We are together again, and that's all that matters. Sure, everyone we know is dead, but we can start over anew.
Oh, come on, you gotta think positive.
True. Try not to think about that.
Just
So-
don't think about it.
So we will finally be able to spend our lives together, just as we always wished.
Without being amphibians.
Yes. Now that we don't have any giant, don't have any more giant snakes, we should be fine. But where are you going to go? I didn't want to mention it, but your kingdom, well, it ain't what it was. It seemed better days and all that.
That's the nicest way you could have put it, Drippy.
Yeah.
That is true. Though this is also a magnificent city in its own right, I feel sure that we can make it our home.
It's got such
True.
lovely music
True, they
playing,
don't-
too.
True, they don't look that out of place in Al-Mamoon.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Yeah, even better. The music plays here even while we're trying to sleep. Isn't that grand?
Indeed it is. It's nice.
It's called bedtime music.
Also,
Especially when it
also, it's
blurs
like,
extremely loudly.
Yeah, we're trying to sleep here.
Go ahead, Shiro.
Yeah. Hmm? Have you considered becoming a
Babana.
Badana merchant?
Babana.
Babana. My father really enjoys it, and the free
Babanas.
Bananas. Not to
are
be
a real
confused with bananas.
bonus.
Drugs.
I'm just gonna call them bananas.
Bananas.
Fucking bananas. How do they...
I suppose they didn't have fuck it.
You got it right there, Shiroi. You had it.
Babanas. No.
Yeah,
We
let's
should
just,
try one.
yeah, let's just say that they're crack or something there.
Anyway, the point is that bananas are cool.
Yeah, good for
It's
your
so
health.
wonderful. I can't wait to taste my first babana.
And then- Oh, I'm sure you'll enjoy that.
Yo,
Is that a reference to something?
It's nice to see you
Said everyone
smiling.
at DeviantArt.
You're really lucky to have been given a... Well, actually, Taylor, let's not forget that one moment in Pouch of the North Star in Yokai Watch where Koma-san makes that big yokai be a girl who longs for long curved objects. And then he starts eating a banana.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
I haven't shown you that. I'll have to show you.
No.
I
after
saw
this.
that one. Yeah, Pedro showed me that one.
It's yet another. You know this is supposed to be a kids show moment, right?
Pedro, ever since the swan outfit, we ain't going back.
I know, but geez. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So,
Oh, shoot.
and then it turns out that they're so low that their immune systems aren't ready for babanas, and it kills them, sadly.
Jesus,
And
Joe.
what will the new ending be?
It happens.
Alright, Esther.
Oh,
Alright, Esther. Fill out your fan fiction writer powers and write a new ending for their
Let me
story.
think.
Well, she needs to consult the storyteller about making it reality. Please, wait. Do not be so hasty in writing the ending of our story, I beseech you.
Ali, either let her write it or Dick Clayton will write it. What do you want?
I choose Phoenix Wright to write it.
But he's not here.
Yeah, I suppose
You were
this fairy
saying,
It isn't over
Mr. Harley?
yet. Is it?
Well, whatever. Whatever. We
Certainly
already
not.
got Catherine writing it, I'm
Indeed,
afraid.
I feel that it is. To be
Big
continued.
Wah, wah.
Hey, maybe it'll be continued in the sequel.
Well, now we got confirmation from Hino that it's a different timeline with new characters, so there's
Yeah,
no
we don't know how far off the timeline it is.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find the
a year
sentence.
after or something.
Yeah.
Right, let's get a move on, shall we? I reckon the happy couple might want some time alone.
Oh, yes.
Of course.
Shoot, I should have had my saxophone out for that.
Oliver?
Why?
Oliver, come
uh,
on.
Oliver?
You've got a lot to learn, Oliver.
Oh,
You
God.
really have. Anyway, that's quite enough talking. Let's get walking.
Oliver,
You got-
Oliver, you know how you went inside to help deliver the babies from his mother? Well, let's just say sometimes happy time leads to that.
Yes, we should go. I'm sure we'll be seeing this fairy tale couple again soon anyway.
You're talking about yourself and Swain, aren't you, darling?
What? No, I mean,
Inappropriate, Jova.
nah, besides, I'm more for Oliver. I mean, olives. I like olives.
Not in Japan, it's not Pedro. Well, then again, to be fair, they don't seem that far ahead in age anyway.
Anyway, as I can tell from scanning along the thing, story time's coming up.
Oh,
Indeed.
so narration?
The unwilling sorry. Basically, the love of the two unlocked this tale
The
in
bear
our...
man and the princess's tears.
Tongue
Yes.
twisters, apparently.
This is actually one of the best ones in the book, I think. Alright, dudes, get ready.
Okay.
Story time.
Which is the fourth
Fourth
tale.
tale.
The Bear and the Princess's Tears tale.
A kidnapped princess.
Hello.
Alright.
King of a peaceful kingdom had one daughter whom he loved very much. This princess was very brave and very wise and assisted her father in the kingdom. Hard by the edge of the kingdom was a steep mountain. No one ever approached it, however, for it was a nice nation to rule the kingdom herself, but the fearless princess never failed to foil her plans. The witch had an apprentice who was top half bear and bottom half man.
Man,
This
Bear,
apprentice
Pig?
was known as the Bear Man, for that was his lame name, to be honest.
No, it's a Man, Bear,
was
Pig.
young.
Bear.
He's half man, half bear, and half pig.
Let's
Yeah, I
go.
saw that
carried
joke
out.
Because
coming.
how do you math? Like, how do
Alright,
you...
Liz, carry on. Go ahead, Liz.
One day, the man bear thing was in the cave making potion when the witch returned with a young woman. It was, yes, guess, the princess who was always ruining her plans. The bear man looked at the princess and was twice shocked. Firstly, at how wondrous fair she was, and secondly, at the sight of her hands and feet, which the witch had turned to wood using her magic. Who's the witch?
I will. Look after the princess!
The witch commanded the bear man.
Do not let her get hungry, or shed a single tear, else thou shalt be troubled.
And
Bear
he
man.
will be released.
Bear man immediately went to fetch some fruits and preserves from the larder. Sorry. Since the princess's hands had been turned to wood, the bear man tried to put the fruit in her mouth directly, but the princess turned away from him and looked instead at the witch.
Shirei. Whatever.
Oh, I
Well,
thought
well,
I don't read these, do I?
what will
No.
you do with me?
Can you read them?
I shall tell your father that I am taking you. And yeah, they can see the illustration of the princess. So yeah, her hands, even her hands are wood. So it's only her arms and overall torso and head that are still human.
Elijah, is that
like-
you?
It looks more like she's tied to a tree branch. here.
Elijah?
There you go.
Elijah, why are you a girl?
So yeah, we can actually see the witch literally throwing the spell at her that makes it like this. So that's pretty cool that they actually managed to do that. The hostage, the witch replied. Sorry.
The witch replied.
And demand his kingdom in return for your freedom. That would be a waste of time.
Retorted the princess.
Father is always telling me not to believe anything witches say. He will not trust you, even if I am in mortal danger. He'll just let me die, because that's what a father will do. Silence! Shrieked the
Shrieked the
sorry.
witch, and with a wave of her wand cursed the princess, who became quite unable to speak. The witch had stolen her voice.
Boy, she made her into a piece of wood.
The next day, the witch went to the palace to negotiate with the king, and it was left to the bear man to provide for their royal hostage. The bear man liked looking after the princess. He felt sorry for her with her wooden limbs and stolen voice, and tried his very best to take good care of her. The bear man was in fact very kind, you see, and despised doing evil things. He was happy knowing that the witch would not scold him for being kind to the princess. After all, it was the witch herself who had commanded him to look after her. But while the princess did not shed a single tear, neither did she smile so much as once. The bear man used the finest ingredients to cook dishes that he hoped would make the princess happy. But when the meals were served, she would do no more than stare at him in total silence.
Well, fuck you too then, bitch.
Now the bear man knew that the princess would only smile when her hands and legs were free again and she had regained her voice. But the bear man could not lift the curses himself, and he knew that the witch would never do it. All he could do was continue to cook fine meals for the princess and watch her turn them down because she has no idea that he's doing this thing completely against his will, and she's a total bit... sorry.
Honestly, she should be more grateful being held captive like that. Oh, wait. Belle!
But I don't see any mention of auto-tune here, Jova.
Belle! As in, the bell. We like to ignore the auto-tune in her character.
The princess who wouldn't cry. Several days
Elise!
passed.
Oh god, no.
I already made it.
Just as the princess had foretold, this did nothing for the witch's mood, of course. And one morning, when the bear man was bringing food to the princess as usual, the witch shouted at him.
Why are you wasting such good food on her? Anything will do, as long as it stops us from crying.
But I thought that the princess would be happier if she could eat fine foods, mistress.
Who told you to make her happy? Nobody makes anyone happy in my watch.
With
Well,
that,
aren't
the
you a
witch
misery
snatched
cat?
up her wand and, with a flick of her wrist, rendered the princess stony deaf. She then proceeded to tell the bear man a secret.
There is a reason why I told you to stop her from crying. If she sheds but a single tear, all of her curses will be lifted at once. You see, it's kind of this thing where we always create this loophole to stop the spell for some reason. We sorcerers kind of suck at this.
The bear man now realized that the witch had not wanted him to be kind to the princess or to look after her. She had simply wanted him to stop her from crying. He now knew that all he had to do to make the princess happy once more. The next time the witch left the cave, the bear man put his paws around the princess's rosy neck and started twisting, yet she still did not cry. The bear man felt he had no choice but to strike her. He was strong, and the poor princess was unbalanced on her wooden legs. She fell to the ground violently.
Now cry, I beseech you! Cry and all your curses will be lifted!
The deaf princess lay on the ground, clearly in pain, yet she still did not cry. She simply...
It all
Come
makes
on,
sense now,
slow down.
guys.
You can wait a bit.
It all
while-
makes
while
sense
I-
now, guys.
What is up with this thing about? It's like with the Swan Princess. If she kisses whatever the true love, why would you make the spell like that? That's counterproductive to the plan.
Who knows,
Whatever.
Pedro? Maybe they just bought the spells off of magical eBay.
Anyway, go ahead, Dubs.
The bear man tried his best to be brutish, but when he looked upon the princess in
Anyway, the point is the bear man is beating the crap out of her.
agony, felt so sorry for her that he started sobbing. Though he hurriedly wiped the tears away with his big paws, knowing that he must not let the princess see him crying, it was too late. The princess had realized that something was amiss, and resolved not to shed a single tear, no matter what ordeals the bear man put her through. The bear man snarled and bared his teeth, and treated the princess more cruelly than ever. But the princess was very brave and very wise, and did not shed a single tear. Well, how much worse can he treat her at this
It
point?
all makes sense, guys. The reason Elise never died was... the reason Elise never cried was because she's just a piece of wood.
A month passed, and the witch visited the king once more.
Considering
returned
her
to the cave this
appearance, I
time,
could believe
however,
that, honestly.
Her mood had changed.
The king refuses to negotiate. He doesn't give a shit about his own daughter, and there is no point keeping a hostage anymore. So it's time to kill her.
Soliana. Makes sense.
Upon which he waved her wand once more, sending a deadly arrow whistling towards the princess. The bear man immediately threw his great bulk in front her, shielding her from the arrow, which pierced his...
Typo.
As he crashed to the ground, the typo was so bad that the wand fell from the witch's hand. The bear man's fate was sealed, but with his last morsel of energy, he opened his eyes and looked up at the princess. She stared back at him, her eyes wide.
I have done such terrible things. I will die an evil man in your eyes.
Such were the bear man's sorrowful thoughts as he perished. As he did so, tears fell in a flood from the princess's eyes, raining down upon her wooden feet and arms, lifting the curse and returning her to normal. The princess immediately stood, picked up the witch's wand, and used it to draw a rune, for the princess could use magic as well, you see. A large fire engulfed the cave, and the witch's wailing could be heard for miles around.
Jesus.
Once the blazes subsided, nothing remained of the bitch or the witch, save for a small pile of pitch black ashes. So basically, the princess is a bitch.
And she burned the witch to death.
Talk about retaliation.
She burns the witch to death. The bear is a domestic abuser. And who am I supposed to root for in this story again?
Remember, Drips, this is an old school fairy tale where everybody's an asshole, like Teo was talking about earlier.
The witch is evil, the princess is a bitch, and guy's a domestic abuser. At that moment, the bear man was brought back to life.
Don't you see, Drips? It's a
The
good
story
compromise.
is just so pleasant, isn't it?
For his dull-witted bear form was nothing but a curse, imposed upon him by the wicked witch.
Of course
Prince
it
had a
was.
weak voice, for he was still upon the brink of death.
Your Highness, why did you cry for me?
Missing your death, it filled me with terrible sorrow. Had I only known that crying would lift my curse, I should have done so far sooner. I see now that you were trying to help me, even as you did those horrible things.
I treated you terribly, Your Highness. Please forgive me. Please forgive me.
Of course I would forgive you. You are a kind person at heart, and for that I am truly grateful. Now please, do not die. Upon hearing
these words, the prince shed one final tear and breathed his last,
After
muttering
you
that
scrabble the floors in Hyrule,
Sorry,
then we
girl,
can
not
talk
everyone
about
gets what they
mercy.
want.
Take them away.
muttering that the princess was a hypocrite for crying at someone's death even though she burned a witch alive.
Also, sorry, girlie, not everyone gets what they like. And he died, despite her asking him not to die. Again, not everybody gets what they want, honey.
And needless to say, she went back home and everyone booed her because she was a bitch.
The forbidden
The
spell.
forbidden spell. The princess stared at the prince's lifeless body for a long while before picking up the wand once more with conviction. She had settled upon a course of action. She would cast Ashes of Resurrection.
Oh boy.
Upon casting the spell, the cave was filled with white light, restoring breath to the prince's lungs as it shone upon him. The princess's spell had brought him back to life. The very next moment, however, the princess fell to the ground. As she lay there, she raised her face and asked the prince,
Who are you? I can explain now. Ashes of Resurrection is a forbidden spell.
He replied mournfully.
Those who cast it always pay a terrible price. The price you have paid for it is your memory of me.
And the prince's eyes filled with tears of terrible sadness once more.
Why are you crying? Asked
the puzzled princess.
Because something important has been lost.
Upon hearing the princess's next words, however, the prince could not help but smile.
Well, perhaps together we may make it anew.
So basically, the princess conveniently had her memory erased so she wouldn't remember that she burned someone.
No, it is. If you go check out that spells page on the Wizard's Campaign, that it says right there. Like whoever messes with the natural order of life by using this spell will pay some kind of price.
So basically, no, I got it. She did that. Knowing that the prince would both be brought back to life, and because she can't remember.
Alchemist, right?
So, to a question,
Yes,
considering
Hang on. And because the princess wouldn't remember the witch, they can't prosecute her for it. So it's a double win.
Okay, to a question, considering you like your fairy tales old school and hardcore, I'm guessing this is probably one of your favorites in this book.
Partially, but there's no real moral to this, honestly.
True, yeah. There needs to be a method to the madness.
Well,
Yeah.
trust me, Shiva. There's a lot of old fairy tales from back in the early days that have a lot of stuff like this. This was supposed to be kind of a little throwback to that.
The
kind of
main
stuff.
idea was like, oh, they were so scary because they scared the children who read them into behaving.
Maybe one of these days, Hina will make some kind of Carlo Collodi style thing.
God, what now?
Carlo Collodi, the guy who created Pinocchio. You know, the guy whose method of education is, okay, kids, be good or you'll be fucking turned into fucking donkeys.
Oh,
and you'll have to live being whipped for all eternity.
And you'll die. Did we mention you'll die? Because you'll die.
And you'll
Slow and
die.
painful deaths.
like I said before, that scene in Pinocchio where Lampwick turns into a donkey in the Disney movie is fucking terrifying for a kid. I mean, Jesus. Anyway, we'll see you for the next part, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.